Hello, Lilly. Had to wait for those bells. Lilly comes into view soon after the bells heralding the end of the school day ring out. She says farewell to a number of her classmates headed in the other direction before beginning her weekly trip to the convenience store. It says like the Batman thing, except it's just Lily's head. Just Afternoon, Lilly. The immediate warm smile and relaxed demeanor she assumes upon noticing my presence are unexpectedly welcome. Hello, Hisao. Good afternoon to you, too. Just look at her. She hesitates for a second, but eventually disdains to tilt her face forward and close her eyes. My lips meet with hers with a measure of slight trepidation before we move off, hand in hand. The fact that we're so close in height is somewhat useful at times, that there being no need for either of us to turn our head upwards or downwards in order to meet the others. That's perfect. No extra work. It doesn't take much time to leave the noise of the other students far behind us. The tapping of Lily's cane is in her free hand the only sound to be heard. Silence, blissful silence, is all that greets us while we slowly walk in the setting sun's light. You know, I think I'm really starting to like this town. The huge green hilly expanse, the trees everywhere, the somewhat rustic little buildings. See, I think it'd be cool to live in a place like this as long as you had like, well, for me, as long as I'd have like super cool internet. You know, all that shit still. I'd be okay with it. So you've come to appreciate the tranquility of it as well? I think so. I came from a metropolitan city near Tokyo, so the quiet of this town really kind of alienated me when I first arrived. I wasn't used to it. But after a while, it became really nice. I think I prefer it to the hustle and bustle of my home city now. That's because nothing's happening. It's just quiet. While I preferred the quiet of such a rural town, even when I first arrived, I suppose I had the advantage of growing up in a quiet area before I came. Hanako said the surroundings are very pretty too. Oh, they are. Lilly may say such a thing quite easily, but each time she mentions how others describe sights around her as beautiful or pretty, I feel a little put off. I notice her expression becoming one of anticipation for some question, or... Ooh, burp, another. She always had a good sense for when somebody's not saying something that's on their mind, so I may as well speak up. I was kind of wondering, how do I put this? Do you ever regret that you can't see what things look like for yourself? It's just something I've been thinking about. She thinks carefully for a time. Do you ever regret that you can't hear people whispering on the other side of a room? Like, you mean like regret something that you never had? Or like don't have control over or something? I can only speak for myself, but the fact that I can't see is the only way I've experienced life. Just as I cannot do something you can't do something that I'm capable of. The fact that the world is made for those who are sighted can be a pain sometimes, but there are many, many people who suffer much more than I because of the way the world is. I guess that makes sense, but still, it just feels kind of bad to describe something that you can't that you can't experience. What was the to you? She tilts her head quizzically as if I just said something that makes very little sense at all. But I can experience it. You just said yourself that you like this area because of the way the surroundings are. I like this area for the same reason. Thanks to the fact that this is a small rustic town surrounded by trees, it gives some peace and quiet away from the din at school and the bustle. Not to mention the smells of the city. I suppose it would also be much like the home she shared with Akira as well. Her outlook on it seems pretty sensible. I like her thinking. And I'm not surprised that she's got a much better handle on her particular condition than I do mine. I mean, again, heart might explode. Just like how her coming from a location somewhat similar to Yamaku's surroundings led her become more acclimatized in a shorter period of time. Being born blind affected her stance, by her own admission. I should stop being so annoyed with myself over it, but I can't shake the feeling that I've depended on Lilly far too much, given the circumstances most have had to deal with in Yamaku. You know, that makes a lot of sense. You're pretty good at explaining, as always. Come to think of it, where is Hanako? She was with us for lunch. It seems she's busy studying. The exams are far from over, and she said she wants to do better this year than the last. Basically, she doesn't want to be a third wheel, is what we're getting out of this. While I admire her work ethic, she's really been trying to give us a lot of room alone recently. She's that type of person, I think. The kind that puts others' needs above her own at every chance. She's a sweet girl, even though so much has hurt her in the past. I don't know. I feel like it's only now, when she's less close to me than ever, that she's truly finding herself. Yeah, she's definitely becoming way more independent than she did in her route. It was thanks to you that she began to become more confident after all, not me. I take my hand from hers and gently place it on her head. You know, the important thing is that you were there for her. I can't even imagine what she'd be like without having found someone like you. That much became obvious while you were in Scotland. We're all still friends, so we've just gotta have faith in her. I think she'll become a good person. And that much is thanks to you being there for her when she needed you most. Just as you were there for me. Aw. It makes me feel a bit childish when you sound so wise. I try. Me wise? Are you doing anything on the weekend by any chance? Nothing comes to mind. Why? Then how's about a date on Sunday? It'd be something to do besides exam preparation, even though we should be really focusing on that. Not that that matters. Countering my rapidly beating heart. No! Stop it! She simply smiles and nods. That would be lovely. Where would you like to go? Her face suddenly changes to one of disapproval. You can't do that, Hisao. That's cheating. I literally ask her out on a date, and I'm like, oh, what do you want to do? No, you stupid. I get it, but do what? A gentleman should never ask a lady where to have a date. What? Oh. Her smile quickly comes back, assuring me that she's far from serious. Don't worry about it. I'll think about where we could go. I'll leave it to you then. I promise to decide on the next date, though. And so, he didn't decide on the next date, because he wanted her to make all the decisions for him. With our plans for the weekend made, the rest of us walk down the hill. Why did I say the rest of us? The rest of the walk down the hill continues in silence. The prospect of that lasting for any length of time, however, is shattered as I catch a sight of a familiar figure waiting for us, her hand held high. Hello? Wee woo? Oh, okay. No wee woo. Yo. God, I hate saying yo. It makes me want death. Thank you, please come again. What was that? Oh my god, the change in atmosphere. The change in atmosphere. I mean, the change in temperature as I step outside from the convenience store sends a chill up my spine. It feels like summer's starting to wind down. Man, I feel like someone should make should make me. Yeah, I don't want to make it. but someone should make a compilation video of every single one of my fuck-ups. That video alone would be like a year long. Looking to my side, the same feeling seems to affect Lilly as well. Though unlike me, she doesn't manage to hide the fact. Something I didn't realize at first was how physically delicate she is, even compared to the likes of Hanako. If I had to describe her, I'd have to say that she reminds me of a China doll. Oh, easily broken, huh? Oh my god. Akira walks up behind her and gives her a couple hard pats on the shoulder, much to Lily's consternation. For a moment, she looks as envious of my status as an only child as I am of their close relationship. They talk between themselves for a few moments as I sort out my bags. Their voices too low for me to catch. But eventually they break off and we begin to walk back to school. Well, feels good to be out of that damned office. You kids don't know how good you have it here. Kids. You too, then. Kids grow up so fast nowadays. You're not old enough to say that. I don't know. Being around Hideki makes me feel pretty damned old. He's so precocious. He reminds me of you when you were younger. He's a nice boy. It would be a shame if Shizune comes to have too much of an influence on him. Akira gives an amused snort at her sister's antipathy. She really doesn't seem to regard it as anything to make a serious fuss about, treating it more like a childhood spat. She looks over to me, apparently only just remembering that I'm here. Hi, I exist. And gives a small grin as she reaches toward her back pocket. What is it? Just a sec. Let me just dig it out. Hold on. After quite some difficulty, she manages to retrieve her black leather wallet from her back pocket. I still don't have a wallet, guys. I think there's an issue here. Quickly fishing out what looks like to be a folded square of paper. I keep all my cards in my pocket. And then take it out when I need to pay for something. I don't have a wallet. I don't have anything to hold my shit. Because I just never replaced it a long time ago. Help. I say help. Like, I just haven't ever needed a wallet. Like, I don't know. I should probably get one at some point. Maybe one day. In like a few years. We'll see. We'll see. Maybe like a nice Animu wallet. Ah, that'd be perfect. With Lilly all but unaware of what's happening, Akira unfolds the scrap and hands it to me. What is it? Oh my god. What's going on here? An old photo of what looks to be a younger Lilly and Shizune operating a noodle stall with some other girl in the background. Looks vaguely familiar, but I can't quite pinpoint why. What is it, Akira? I think you know. Lilly mulls over this for a few moments before realization dawns on her. Akira, you really needn't. It's fine, isn't it? Besides, the only photo I have of you two since you entered Yamaku where you're not at each other's throats. I like it. She's like, hey, and then fucking face. I look back down at the photo in my hand. It does seem strange to see Lilly and Shizune working together so diligently without any sign of animosity. If the photos of them during Yamaku's festival, that means must have been taken like 1 or 2 years ago. In other words, the time when they were both in the student council together. Yeah, who's the girl in the back? She looks kind of familiar. She does, but I don't... It's, I knew you wouldn't recognize her. It's Misha. What? Before she went and dyed her hair pink. What? That's Misha? No fucking way. I mean, I should have realized, but, like, it was the hair. I say I should have realized because it was these two, and they were like, while they were both in the student council, and Misha's never far behind Shizune. You know what I mean? It feels extremely weird to see Misha without her so very distinctive hairstyle. Judging from Akira's tone, she doesn't take favorably to Misha's idea of fashion. Look, Misha's weird, okay? She literally laughs like, ha ha ha, so give her a break. God damn it. I suppose that fact just accentuates how old the situation... How old the situation looks. Doesn't even make sense. How odd the situation looks. To think they were so friendly in the past. I wish I could do something to mend their relationship. Maybe. Well, you're being very quiet, Hisao. It just feels kind of strange to see you all so friendly like this. It's weird. Lilly moves to say something but stops herself. In the end, this isn't a matter for me. It's between Shizune and Lilly and really nobody else. Things change, unfortunately. Jesus, the way she said that. Like, goddamn. I hand the photo back to Akira, who sighs as she folds it up and slides it back into her wallet. A little memory quietly hidden away to be pulled out again sometime later. We're going to put that on the refrigerator when we get a refrigerator. I say refrigerator, like not like adding re in front of it. Re. Yeah, that they do. Initially, I think Akira's reaction to be simply in response to the situation between Lilly and Shizune, but she looks oddly glum compared to what I'd expect. Lily's expression is clouded as well. What's wrong? What? It's just that I'll be going to Scotland fairly soon. You're going again? Why? What's going on here? For a long moment, Akira looks surprised. It's an ill-fitting expression for her. After a glance at Lilly, she turns back to me as if she'd never done so. Yeah, in a couple weeks, I'll be leaving for Inverness, not Inverse, to work at the company's headquarters. It's a pretty big jump in corporate position, and it's not a chance that's going to come by again. Oh no, that means she's going to have to stay there? No! So Akira's going to leave Japan on what seems to be a permanent basis. Oh no. Can't help feeling that my assumption that we could all happily while away our days having fun in this isolated little world is coming to an end. It's unsettling, dude. I look at Lilly, mildly surprised that she hasn't told me such a thing, despite usually being so forthcoming. She continues to walk with her face fixedly pointed ahead. I can't read her expression, nor can I even guess what's on her mind. Which is discomforting, given how it's usually easy for me to do both. It reminds me of the time when we met at the Shanghai, just before what could be called our first date. At the time, all I could do was comfort her without knowing the cause, and now feels no different. God, no. I don't want Akira to leave. That'll make me sad. Let alone Lilly. Like, as we finally... That's more family just leaving. As we finally reach the school dormitories once again, there's a somewhat awkward silence. I don't think I'm the only one who feels it. See you tomorrow then, Lilly. Bye, Akira. I'm just leaving? Oh my god. Sound like a cannon went outside. Oh, Jesus. Maybe it's the sad cannon. Good night, Hisao. See ya. And with that, they walk to the female dormitories. Opening the door to the male dorms, I stop and look back at them, just moments before their figures disappear behind the heavy wooden door. That was a strange moment when Akira said she was leaving. While that wasn't the first time when my thoughts regarding my new life had come into question, it's perhaps the first time to do it quite so profoundly. I still don't know what to make of Akira's reaction, much less Lily's. The night's chill reminds me to get back to my room before I catch something. My bag's pulling down on my arms with seemingly redoubled weight. I don't want to be... No, I don't. If nothing else, I have a date with her set up for the weekend. I just need to stop overthinking stuff and get on with things as they are. At least Akira's not leaving, like, right away. She's, a couple weeks? The exams are still ongoing, after all. And with the trimesters end and the summer holidays beginning, there'll be plenty things to keep me busy for a while. As I give a big yawn and retreat inside, my thoughts turn to what Lilly will decide to set as the location of our weekend rendezvous. I actually got scared for a second because I thought Lilly was going with when she said that she was gonna go. Oh my god, this is the fanciest fucking shit. What the hell? I can't afford this. No, but like when she said she was going back and like how, I don't know, I just thought that Lilly was also going, which would be extra depression. Oh no. Anywho, I'm pretty sure this is about the last thing I had in mind when Lilly said she decided where to have our date. This is not where I want to be. Not a man nor woman is dressed in anything but their finest, their formality only matched by that of their surroundings. Rich red wallpaper adorns the walls as the city lights far below flicker and glow. What do you mean far below? Where the fuck am I? Am I up in a tower? Jesus, this is fancy. Oh, it's like one of those, I think, like those restaurants that are like on the top of a skyscraper. Dude, no. Fuck that. I am never stepping foot in one of those. Mostly because of my fear of heights. Just the idea of knowing I'm up high in the sky freaks me out. I don't need to see it to be freaked out. Combined with the ambient hum of quiet speech and the high-pitched clattering of cutlery and wine glasses, the mood is very formal, yet relaxed enough for me not to feel too uptight despite this being our first real date. Once we get seated, our waiter leaves to attend to the others with a quick bow, after an appreciative nod from Lilly. Far from depending on my help, Lily's managed to navigate herself around surprisingly easily so far, despite the unfamiliar environment. Dude, she's used to this. A light brush here and there, and she's generally quite deft at orienting herself as needed. I was actually wondering if we were gonna see Lilly in like some new dress sprite. Wait, what kind of dress is she wearing? Hold on. This like it reminds me of the like Chinese dress is that what she's wearing? Dude, I love those kinds of dresses, not even gonna lie. And it's not just because they expose a lot of thigh, even though they really do expose a lot of thigh. My eyes look to Lily's. I can tell from her face that she's listening to her surroundings just as hard as I'm looking. Though truth be told, my eyes are lingering on her each time they sweep across the room. What the hell am I wearing? Man, I'm with Lilly and she looks gorgeous and has a sweet dress, and then there's me who's just some loser probably wearing like a babby suit. The red what the hell? Chinogasm she's wearing accentuates her figure very well and shows off her legs. Is that what it's called? See? It is showing off her legs. I know my fashion. I don't. Even her hair is done up and the scent of perfume is just noticeable. While my black suit may be a rental. Oh god, I paid so much money for this. I managed to select an appropriate one. It feels surprisingly comfortable considering I've so rarely worn one, and fits the setting just as well as Lily's attire. How? I'm in a black suit. That's basic bitch stuff. And she's wearing something super fancy. I imagine I don't match as well as I think I do. I guess this is a new experience for both of us then. She turns somewhat sheepish. Oh, look at that. Look at the blush. I've never come to such a place as this before, no. One hell of a first day, that's for sure. It's gonna be pretty hard for me to top this. How do I afford thing? A small giggle. Even now, our nervousness is dissipating. Her hand skates along the center of the table until she touches the menu, which she takes in both her hands. Ooh, and brings to her face. Dude, it said menu. My body reacted and was like, food? Here's a burp. Hisao? Oh, as she lowers the beige laminated sheet just below her eyes, I could see another sheepish look. I doubt asking the waiter for a menu in Braille would be productive. Dude, with a place this fancy, they might have it. I can read it out to you, no problem. I take mine and give it a quick read, my small grin faltering. Perhaps there is. Oh, they actually did make a Sprite. Dude. What's wrong? Oh, there's quite a few items on here, and I'm not completely sure how to pronounce a couple of them. Dude, that's my life. One fine cuisine after another is listed. Most maybe in Japanese, but there are a few English and French. It just says burger and fries. That's it. That's the kind of shit I'd get at a fancy restaurant. I guess it's to be expected, but I have no idea what's in some of these. May I have your finest chicken tenders? Oh, this one I recognize. Wait, hold on a second. You could cook that? Oh, a small giggle of amusement comes from behind the paper sheet. Well, I could read them out, but it'd take a few hours. I like how you could cook that. What? Is there anything with some kind of fish in it? Let's see. No. Aren't these poisonous? What? No. They eat that stuff? Oh, no. Here we go. A tuna salad. He just doesn't know how to say salad. Seems to be a good bet. From the picture, it looks like it'll be pretty filling as well. They just show you the picture. They don't... You know, most of the food in those food pictures aren't actually food. They use, like, weird shit. That seems to be a reasonably safe option. Let's order 2 then. I don't want tuna salad, you fuck. I'm pretty sure a couple of these dishes are from poisonous animals. I've had enough deadly run-ins for now. They're not gonna serve you something that's gonna kill you. God, this place would have been shut down long ago. Lilly maintains a smile, but there's a distinct lack of laughter. A black humor mustn't... What? Black humor mustn't be her cup of tea. Okay, though to be honest, I don't find it exceedingly funny either. I'm giggly today, dude. I don't know what it is. I'm happy to be here. In this fucking fancy restaurant up in the skyscraper, freaking out. There are certainly quite a few interesting smells wafting about. The same is true of the sights, I assume. I've never been anywhere quite like this. A fancy Japanese tea house on an occasion or two, but never anything like this lavish nor European in styling. Before another word can be said, a portly waiter in a distressingly tight vest appears at our table to take our orders. What the shit am I saying? Hold on. 2 tuna salads, please. That'd be me. I'd be like, oh. Hope I didn't mess up the pronunciation of that too badly. Even if I did, he doesn't show it. He's probably heard everything by this point. You could probably just say tuna salad, and he'd be like, ah, okay. And may I have a glass of Chardonnay, please, Hisao? I know how to fucking say that. The same. As the waiter nods and leaves, I suddenly realize what I said by absentmindedly mimicking Lily's answer. I regret it pretty quickly. Alcohol. Only a bit. We drink a lot of alcohol. Wait, they're not even good. Are they even gonna check our IDs? What's going on here? This girl has an odd propensity to getting hooked on things, I swear. I know a lot of you are gonna be like, but the legal drinking age is so and so. I get it. I know, it's fine. Surprising that they didn't. I even fucking said it! Surprising they didn't ask for identification. Then again, I guess we both do look mature for our age. She does. I'm just normal protagonist man. I'll have to take your word for it. I'll add that this isn't what I'd call the type of place to ask such things, though. Good point. We both relax a little into our seats, trying to take our minds off the choking formality of our surroundings. As we do so, the same waiter appears at our table with 2 empty glasses and a bottle, the contents of which are quickly and professionally poured into the former. Oh my god. Now hold on. You could get in some big-ass trouble for not asking for identification. This is bullshit. I had to ask old people for their identification when I was a cashier back in retail. It doesn't even matter. We both nod politely as he leaves. Lily taking her glass and gently moving it from side to side. Oh, she's sloshing it around. The liquid inside glistens as it moves around in the glass. And I gotta admit, it makes me a little less regretful for ordering the same. I guess it must take effort to judge how the liquid inside is acting based only on its center of balance. Maybe it's like her origami, taking every little chance to practice her dexterity. I guess I'm not surprised that you know about a place like this. Those who have money would, I suppose. Is she paying? This reminds me of just how completely different our upbringings were. In Yamaku, it's easy to forget about social and economic disparity between students all wearing the same uniforms, living in the same dorms. Well, Akira was the one to tell me of it. She's come here before, apparently. So that's what they were conspiring about on Friday. And you chastise me for cheating? That's not cheating. It's simply making use of personal contacts. If you say so. I still get the feeling that you're more familiar with this kind of restaurant than I am. I've only been to one fancy restaurant, and I hated it. I didn't go by choice. That was a family affair. She pauses for a moment, a wistful look on her face before softly smiling. The compliment seems to brighten her mood. You could thank my former school for that. If I were to appear any less, they'd be gravely disappointed. She has mentioned her previous schooling before, but now I'm kind of curious. She seems to think a lot about her past, so I don't see any problem in asking. Might as well. Well, what was that like? It was prestigious. All girls and Catholic. These facts made my parents choose it for me. Many wealthy families send their daughters there. From how it sounds, life there must have been pretty strict. I wouldn't say it was a bad experience, but you are quite right. It was very strict. Thankfully, I managed to adapt well enough and make a number of friends. Unfortunately, the same can't be said for my sister. Nope. She found the atmosphere and religious aspect suffocating and ended up leaving for a job as soon as she was able to. She gives a small self-deprecating chuckle. I shouldn't complain about it, though. Not many even have the chance to go to such a school. Do you resent your parents for sending you there, then leaving? She gently shakes her head. My family is highly patriarchal. My father, business always on his mind, was entirely lost as to what to do with me. In the end, he made the decision that my education was of higher priority than staying with the family. He simply did what he thought was best. To say such things so easily. What an unbelievable girl. That said, I'm a little surprised she doesn't think her blindness played any part at all, though maybe I'm being too harsh on her family. It's probably always like there, you know. You're too kind-hearted, you know that? Most would hate their parents for something like that. Well, some do. Oblivious to my raised eyebrow, she takes a sip from her glass. The wine slips down effortlessly, her fondness for it evidently helping her deal with the flavor of alcohol. I can't say the same goes for me. What of yourself? What was your schooling like? Normal. Mine? Let's see. Went to a fairly normal public school, I guess. Maybe a bit busier than the norm. I did quite well in class, played in soccer. I was even in the club. Since I'm an only child and my parents both worked a lot, I've wasted most of my free time and money at the arcade with my 3 friends. No matter how much I played, though, I never did manage to beat Mai at any of those machines. Even Takumi and Shin lost to her whenever they tried. Then I'd be left trying to be the reasonable adult when Shin and Mai fought. Again. Just the 4 of us, aimlessly enjoying our childhood. Those are some pretty silly times. And then the heart happened. I catch myself as I realize that I'm starting to zone out. The days of my old school disappearing to the night sky and bright city lights outside the window. Lily's face is an odd mixture of curiosity and sympathy. Given her strict schooling, I suppose something like this would seem an interesting contrast to the only life she's known. It sounds like your previous school was a lot of fun. I'm not really sure how much of it is nostalgia, but, you know, there were some nice moments. Nice memories, in fact. That's in the past, though. I can't go back there now, but through my accident, I found a new life I'd never have imagined leading. And I found you. Damn, I should have said that. That would have made her blush hard. The peace and calm of Yamaku, a new direction for my future in science, the friendship of Shizune, Misha, and Hanako. Oh, he's gonna say it. And most of all, you. Damn. What a fucking... Oh. It was so good. She had to touch our face. She gives a deep, genuine smile as she moves her hands toward me. Her fingers just lightly searching out my face before softly caressing my cheek. Ah. Her hand reluctantly retreats after a second of warm silence, as we notice the waiter arriving with our meals. Lily does a deft job of covering her condition, except for the fact that her nod to him is slightly misaligned due to his silence. She really seems to work hard at appearing as normal as possible in public. While I noticed it long ago, I still can't quite gauge whether it's a want to not be treated differently, a slight sense of vanity, or a mixture of both. Well, hold on. That's a tuna salad? If I was blind, would I try to act normal? I guess. Act as though I don't have blindness. If I'm like sitting down at a dinner table, I suppose so. I don't know. The dish served lines up to the salad name, the salad name, and the portions plentifully large, with sliced eggs and tomato. Ugh, tomato. It looks very enticing indeed. Lily takes her knife in one hand and fork in the other, quickly getting to work on the dish as I do. It's later than we usually have dinner, so we're both eager to dig in. Oh, yeah. Oh, look at her eating. Pick these out. Get them out of here. Get these tomatoes out of here. My cautious skewering of leaves and vaguely meat-like squares with my fork is matched by Lily's silent and measured prodding and chewing. An occasional tap around the sides of a piece of food to work out its edges is the only giveaway to her lack of sight. It's like a very minor thing. I'm done with my meal in no time. Lily taking the last few bites as I sit observing her. Finished, Hisao? Dude, she knew. Yeah, it was pretty nice. That is very true. I never thought a simple salad could be so tasty and filling. It's salad. Salads. Dude, every salad I've had, I've always been fucking starving afterward. I just don't like salad that much. Not even gonna lie. But then again, I suppose that's why it costs so much to eat here. Fuck. Content with my appraisal and evidently agreeing, Lily gives a small nod. You know, given that you're part foreign, exotic looking, and quite pretty, I'm surprised that nobody's ever confessed to you before. You're assuming nobody did. Yeah, I was assuming a lot there. The simple statement takes me off guard. I shouldn't be surprised given that I was literally just complimenting her just moments before. Really? I've received several confessions, both in this school and my previous one. Adolescence is a funny time. I love that line. She's kind of talking as if she's above it herself. Huh. How easily you say such a thing. Lily looks surprised for a moment before a playful smirk covers her face. Is that jealousy I sense? What? No, it isn't. How can you even be jealous of that? You are with her. You got her in the end. Like, she received several confessions, turned them all down. In fact, she confessed to you. I would be like, yeah, I ain't even jealous. You're a bad liar, Hisao. You should take that into account. Then again, I do appreciate how sincere you are, even if you don't intend to be. Sometimes. I think your honesty will always serve you well when dealing with others. I clear my throat in mock disapproval of this whole business and try to steer the conversation elsewhere. To tell you the truth, though, I do prefer solitude to being surrounded by others. I don't think I can maintain a social circle like you do. She contemplates this for a moment. I don't think that's true either. I've seen how gentle and caring you are around Hanako, and you get on marvelously well with others, even those whom you hardly know. I think you're quite adept at social situations. But on that note, what of your confessions, Hisao? Oh, Jesus. I'm sure someone like you must have at least one admirer. As I open my mouth to speak, I can feel my face turn slightly dour. At times like this, I secretly appreciate the fact that she can't see my expressions. We're gonna have to tell her about our thing. I mean, what started it all? Just one. Her name was Iwanako. It was when she confessed to me that I had my heart attack there in the woods during winter. Lily finds herself speechless, not expecting for the topic to move into such an area. My condition has always been something of a concern for her, something that I strive to minimize despite my body's best efforts to the contrary. Afterwards, she visited me for a while when I was in the hospital. For weeks, she just came in and talked. It was usually just small talk or classroom gossip, but that was enough. But eventually, she just stopped coming. She was there every day, then every other day, then once a week, and then finally one day she just stopped visiting entirely. Did you ever see her again? Wrapped up in my own little world, I shake my head before remembering the futility of the gesture. Why would I feel like dropping the subject isn't good? That's not being honest. Honesty's the best policy. I mean, I might as well tell her about the letter. I don't see the harm in it. Watch this be the bad ending and just fuck me. I'll do it. If I get fucked, so be it. The memory of that single letter Iwanako sent me comes back to my mind. I never saw her again, but after I was sent to Yamaku, she wrote me one letter. Lily's face shows an expression I know well. I've piqued her interest. I'd be slightly offended that it's simply a matter of curiosity for her, but she's never been very good at masking her reactions. In hindsight, it really didn't say much. What was going on in my old class, how she was faring, and almost as an afterthought that it was probably best for the both of us that we don't see each other again. After reading it, I ended up reassessing a lot of things I thought I'd managed to work out. For the most part, though, that letter reminded me that the world around me was still moving, and just how much I became isolated from it. And I guess it also reminded me of what I'd lost. She gives the information some thought before her face lights up in realization. No doubt she's worked out that it was the letter which had contributed to my angst during that lunch on the rooftop. It's a rare sight to see Lily quite so lost for words. Her entire persona is a little deflated from her earlier rapt interest. As charismatic as she is, in the end, that isn't any replacement for life nor relationship experience. Perhaps it is better she sent it than not. How's that? Okay, I feel like I made a decent decision here. It could be difficult to work out how best to communicate with those you haven't met in a long time. All the more so considering your separate situations. Instead of doing what was easiest, she built up the courage to talk to you one last time. Not only for her sake, but from how it sounds, for yours as well. Maybe. I don't hate her for it. Not that I really ever did, but I don't know. Probably a more non-committal answer than I should give. But it isn't without cause. I've never looked at the situation from Iwanako's perspective like that before. Always thinking of our own. Seconds pass in silence before Lily speaks again. Moving to Yamaku must have been quite hard for you. Having your friends and even your girlfriend taken from you for no fault of your own. The worst of it passed while I was in the hospital. When all that surrounds you is 4 white walls and a small TV, your mind takes on a life of its own. It's like my old school, I guess. I just try not to dwell on what's happened and keep thinking ahead. All that reminiscing does is get me down, and it's largely thanks to you that I feel like things are finally getting back on track. That's pleasing to hear, Hisao. She lowers her face slightly, her expression pensive. I guess I went too far and embarrassed her. I suppose you went through something a bit like that when like what I did when you entered Yamaku, anyway, right? I imagine the vast majority of our school students did, after all. You said yourself that you made friends in your old school. Can't imagine many followed you. Lily's deep smile drops, her expression unexpectedly darkening, even her hands retreating to her lap. After a long while, she speaks. Hisao, Can you promise not to tell anyone else what I'm about to? I promise. I didn't even need to wait for you to finish your sentence. She looks slightly taken aback by my serious tone, but then relents and smiles weakly before continuing. When I moved to Yamaku, I did regret losing the friends I'd had at my other school. But there was one person whom I most regretted not seeing again. He was the reason I took up English as a future career. Oh, he? Considering she came from an all-girls school, that can't have been a schoolmate then. I rejected the confessions I'd received until then from him. Every time I improved my English skills, his praise was my most treasured reward. It's funny, isn't it? Someone like me, able to boast about the people who have set eyes on me, liking someone so utterly unattainable as my tutor. It truly is the most ridiculous thing. Did you? She quickly shakes her head from side to side. I couldn't. Even then, I knew it was impossible. Silence reigns over both of us. I didn't think, anything came of that. This does seem to explain her ardent focus on her future in teaching English, but I can't help thinking of her confession to me. She lost him without ever letting her feelings be known. Did she somehow fear that would happen again, but with me? I don't really know what to make of it. I've heard of such relationships before. Taboos born of such things as puberty and youth. The fact that she had good judgment not to act on it, though, is heartening. Thank God. I didn't want to open up that fucking can of worms. I know this must sound strange, but please, don't think of me. Why would I think any less of you for that? To be honest, I think he must have been a very nice person if you liked him so much. Not only that, but you stopped yourself before going too far. There we go. Get that smile back. For a moment, she looks somewhat lost. Most unexpectedly, though, it isn't a second before she starts to laugh. The sound takes me off guard. It's not a giggle nor a restrained chuckle, but honest and genuine laughter. I find myself laughing, and not just at her display of relief and happiness, but for her to trust me enough to let me see this most private of secrets. Oh, Dad, more touch. Before I realize it, I feel her palm touching my face. Her touch is as gentle as ever, with her thumb slowly stroking my cheek. You're kind, Hisao. I really do love you. Ah! Seeing her face like this, with her palm gently caressing my face, I think tonight has been a wonderful night. I guess we both had pretty weird pasts, huh? I think by most standards, our present is rather odd as well. I smile and hang my head. This woman can easily run rings around me. Of that I'm quite sure. You're damn right. I look back around the room with its continuing quiet hum of patrons. This place probably fits into the odd category, too. It's a tad overbearing. That's a word for it. I catch the eye of a scurrying waiter, a short, scrawny guy no older than 20. He kind of reminds me of Kenji. Oh no. Though unlike him, the waiter isn't dressed for winter during midsummer. After a curt bow and an offer to remove our plates, Lilly asks for the bill politely and softly. Oh, she's paying! Hold on. With expert coordination, he maneuvers around the tables, our plates in hand, to retrieve our bill. In no time at all, he reappears through the doors, smartly handing our bill to Lilly. The first who touches the bill has to pay. Them's the rules. Who promptly hands it to me. Whoa! Causing him to raise an eyebrow. Oh, right. I was like, oh shit. Right. Blind. As I read the small computer printed leaflet, the cost is considerably more than I expected. What the fuck? Hisao? Oh. I quickly stammer out the amount, to which Lilly merely nods and reaches for her purse. Giving her credit card, to the waiter, he disappears once again. Thank God. All my money was about to disappear in the blink of an eye. That was a disproportionately large amount of money. The statement seems to make Lilly slightly uncomfortable. My family leaves me more than enough for my education. The same goes for my sister, though she dislikes being reminded of that fact. That said, I too dislike throwing money about, but this one time I think I can make an exception, just for you. Not only did you choose our date, but you paid for both of us as well. Whew. She did take me out to dinner, but not first. The diddly already happened. I take the bridge of my nose in my fingers. I can't believe how high you set the bar for our next date. She gives a small giggle. I'll be looking forward to it, Hisao. The waiter reappears beside us, as if by magic, and hands Lily's card back to her. Evidently picking up on her lack of sight, he places the card in her hand with an extra, perhaps unneeded, amount of firmness to make sure of her grip. Where's our mints? Leaving, he exercises a measure of diplomacy by keeping a neutral face despite my own expression. Clapping my hands together, I stand up from my seat in order to bring an end to our night out. Shall we be off, milady? Oh, God, don't be weird. I feel like I made the right decision, you know. Like I always say, honesty's the best policy. No lies around these parts. To my own detriment, really. Whoa, what the fuck? Uh-oh. Oh, no, don't tell me I'm gonna die. Because I really don't want to be sleeping and then have my heart explode while I'm sleeping. I kind of know. Oh, no. I want to click to see if that's the case, but I also want to cliffhanger myself.